Yo, 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 what's happening? Nico here. How do you bounce back? Do you have the ability to bounce back? Have you bounced back in the past? When was the last time that you bounced back? Bouncing back means that you took a fall. You understand what made you fall. And now you're back to elevating yourself. When I was thinking about this topic, I was really just thinking about those old, like, quarter, 50-cent bouncy balls that you can get. Me and my friends, when I was younger, my cousins, we would take these balls and we'd try to bounce them as hard as we could against the ground to see how high they could go up. There's always a contest between us to see which one could get higher. I believe that you need to use your life like this bouncy ball. The reality is that naturally the bouncy ball, after all the force that's given and it's thrown towards the ground, it doesn't just stop there at the ground. Its natural reaction is to use the force, hit the ground, and send that force so that it bounces back up. It takes more energy and it's very unnatural if we see a bouncy ball get thrown at the ground and not bounce back, right? And be like, what's wrong with that thing? It's not an actual bouncy ball. Might be a flat basketball or something like that, but even those, they hop back up, right? It's unnatural if we see something get thrown, a ball, specifically a bouncy ball, get thrown against the ground and not bounce back up. It's unnatural for you to go through all of this stuff, this gunk, this trauma, these assaults, the nights strung out, the fights, the broken relationships, the heartache, and not bounce back. It's unnatural. It takes more energy for you to stay there on the ground. Think about the life events that you have had that got you to this point right now as life throwing you towards the ground. And it's not throwing you towards the ground to break you. It's throwing you towards the ground to project you back up to a higher place. Y'all don't get it, do you? I didn't get it either. In the first few attempts that I had, maybe like the first 5 attempts that I had at getting clean, I thought I was supposed to stay there on the ground. I had been beat up so mentally and physically and spiritually that I thought I was supposed to stay there on the ground. But what I found out is that it took more effort to stay there on the ground. It was unnatural for me to stay where I was at. It's unnatural to you to continue to use and drink after all of this stuff that you've been through. Your mind automatically is one to use that stuff to propel you forward. How you cope will determine if you stay in the unnatural state or if you bounce back. We have created coping methods for ourselves. For me, some of my coping methods, I eat sugars. I have no problem in getting angry. Like, that's one of my go-to emotions. So when I know that I'm in an uncomfortable place, life is forcing me towards the ground, I know that I need to hit it and I need to cope not using anger, not using overeating. When I identify that I'm overeating, like I'm outside of my normal food schedule, when I find that I'm getting angry over little things that didn't bother me, then I know that there's something I'm not coping with in a proper way. There's many coping methods out there and they're very unique. We've talked about that, but I can't list them all for you. Some coping methods are so personalized that you're going to be the only one that figures it out. Here's a clue if your coping method is positive. After you've done whatever method it is, tool it is to cope, you feel lighter inside. You feel like a weight come off of you. Just temporarily. It might come back. With that brief moment of weightlessness, that brief moment of the load being taken off, that rejuvenates us so we can continue going forward. The best way to cope is to use your current talents. But Nico, I don't have any current talents. All right, Angel Soft. You don't have any talents. Let's go with that. How was the last time that you got drunk? How was the last time that you got high without money? That took some talent. Or did you manipulate somebody? Play to some emotions. Mom, I'm hurting. Baby, don't you care about me? I'm hurting. Y'all got talents. You just don't know how to use them. That's the thing. You know how to use them to get what you want, what you desire, but you don't know how to use them to get what's best for you. One of my talents is the gift of gab. I could talk to anybody. That's what made me a good hustler. That's what made me a great hustler. I use the same talents now to encourage people to get to the best version of themselves. You have talents, you've just used them in improper ways, so people tell you not to use them anymore. I struggled with this for years. I'm such a people person that I can connect people and collect a check off of it. I'm good at that. And it used to be I connect a dealer with a plug. And I'd collect a check. Now, I connect individuals to resources. And I don't really collect a monetary check. But there's that weight that gets lifted off of me. And that check is, there's not an amount of money that is equal to that. You have talents. You have skills. How you choose to use them is up to you, though. I'm not here to tell you how to do recovery. That's for you to figure out because it's unique. I am here to give you tools, tips, and tricks so that you can find the way out for you. How are you going to bounce back? Are you going to bounce back? Are you willing to do it? And if you are, which coping methods do you need to use? Which coping methods do you need to stop? And which talents do you need to use in a different way? Which talents do you need to re-explore? Which talents maybe do you need to put away for a little bit? The goal is not to be Angel Soft around here. The goal is to do better each and every day. And it's okay if that comes with having no halo.